Phase 3, day 1 of the upcoming 12-week plan. This is going to be the isolation phase. What are we starting with, B?
Back in traps. 4 sets, 15 reps on pull-ups. It's going to be the first exercise. It's phase 3, the isolation phase, 15 reps. Starting to bump up the reps, make it a little bit more difficult. So just right, always trying to follow that progression. Always trying to push yourself to the max. Shoulders down and back, scapula retracted. I would say out of all back exercises, pull-ups got to be my favorite. Probably because it's just an excellent indication of overall upper body strength, and you can do them almost anywhere, which really, those are some of the best exercises, because if you don't got weights, if you don't got a gym, you can still do them. Got a new haircut. Feels nice. Get a little bit more air to my brain, my little buff dude brain. What do you think? I think it's all right. Pull-ups out of the way, moving on to some T-bar rows. We got a sweet little attachment for our bench, so we just hook the Olympic bar right into it. But if you don't, you can go ahead and just put the bar in the corner of your home garage, or if you're working out at a gym, go ahead and do it at the gym. And as you can see, Brandon's just using some rags in order to pick the T-bar up. It's a easy little do-it-yourself fix. Now you want to make sure your whatever you're using, we're using like a little hand towel, you want to make sure it's sturdy, of course, because if you're using an old beat up one, you don't want it to rip in half. That would not be cool. So we're going up in weight in this one and decreasing the repetition, so we're doing a pyramid. And what you want to do is really try to hit close to failure on each set. So 10 repetitions. On the 10th repetition, you're getting close to failure. You're not completely failing. So when you raise the weight, we just put another extra 20 pounds on to get the 8 repetitions in the next 2 sets. You want to make sure you feel like you're struggling to get that 8th rep up by still keeping that proper form though, so that's the trick. So that's why you got to feel your weights out at first, kind of work your way up slowly. And you know, honestly, it could be the first week is kind of just feeling it out, making sure you're hitting the right weight range, rep range, keeping the proper form, and then the other 2 weeks from that you can slowly start progressing up in weight or stay with the same weight if you feel really comfortable with it. You don't want to go too heavy, but there's always those kind of adjustments you can make through this program and kind of adjust it accordingly to your goals, your personal goals. This was always kind of a fun thing to do. Always make sure you have the right goal in mind first and then kind of go from there, and that's always kind of the first step in any kind of program. All right, moving on. We're entering our first superset of the new 12-week plan. Pendlay Row supersetted with pullovers. I hope we're ready for this because it's going to be intense. Oh shit. Runaway barbell. We gotta invest in some heavier dumbbells. Unfortunately, dumbbells only go up to 50 pounds, so it doesn't really feel like that taxing for the pullovers. You can always switch it up to barbell pullovers, that way you can add as much weight as you want to, so we might just do that. But Pendlay's Row felt good. 4 sets, 10 reps each. Bye-bye, barbell. Good journeys. Hey, mine stayed. My barbell likes me. Brandon's doesn't. Brandon treats his barbell like shit. I abuse my barbell. I throw it around and call it names. I'm not much better, but when all it's known is a life of pain, you know, any little bit of compassion helps.
Brandon just couldn't get enough. Now he's got to abuse the little barbell. The smaller barbell too. God, picking on little barbell kids now. What's wrong with this guy?
Weights are our enemies. We must punish them.
As you can see, switch it up from dumbbells to barbells. Dumbbells wasn't quite enough weight, so feel free to do it yourself. Just because the plan says dumbbell pullovers, if the option isn't available, just switch it up a little bit. Use barbells. You can get same good buff dudes approved results.
Rack pulls, doing 4 sets of 8 reps, supersetted with shrugs, which I'm gonna get to in a sec. But with the rack pulls, it's working a lot of that lower back, kind of that hinging motion, much like the upper half of a deadlift. So just treat it that way. You're starting at the knee just below, and you're really getting that pull action. So a deadlift's, the lower portion of the deadlift is starting with a push, and once you kind of get where your ankles are vertical, that's when you start with the pull mechanism. So this one's really working on that one, is just the pull, hitting the lats and lower back, and that's why we're including it right here. So now onto shrugs. And you can see here too, we put some bumper plates on the bottom here because kind of our rack here doesn't go low enough, so the bar is more, right below the knee. So we just put these on here so we could stand a little taller and increase the range of motion.
Moving on to, son of a bitch. We got a phone. Hello?
Steven Spielberg.
Single arm row with a barbell. We're switching it up again just because our dumbbell doesn't go enough, so we're doing a little variation here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 3 sets, 10 reps each side.
Yeah, there's wider grip too. It's kind of a theme throughout this workout, is a lot of grip strength. First it was the towel, then it was the rack pull straight into the shrugs, which is a pretty intensive grip, superset there. And now of course the wider grip on the one arm rows here is gonna really test your grip too. So next time someone shakes your hand after this workout, you're gonna break it into a million pieces. Be like Drago, I would break you. Oh, that grip strength is no lie. Feeling it. Oh, it's almost gone. Whew. No masturbating for Hudson tonight, I guess.
Fleshlight, here I come. Hands free. Single arm shrugs. 3 sets, 12 reps. And it almost feels like a little bit of a vacation after all these other ones we've been doing, but then again, we only have dumbbells that go up to 50 pounds, but we're pulling out some new ones for you dudes and girls. Single arm shrugs, rack pulls. It's all new in this edition of the 12-week plan.
You want to make it a little bit more difficult, as you elevate your shoulder, the traps here, the scapula I should say, just do a slight hold, squeeze, get a nice contraction, then slowly let it down. So again, so it's changing the tempo. If you can't go too heavy like we do, we can't really go heavier than 50 pounds on our dumbbells. So we just kind of control that tempo, hold, squeeze, and then let it down in a nice slow eccentric contraction. That way it just stresses the muscle a little bit extra, even though we're not really that heavy in the weights. All right, dudes and girls, that wraps up phase 3, or isolation phase, day 1, back and trapeziuses. As you can tell, Hudson's just wrapping up the single arm dumbbell shrugs. Of course, it's a unilateral exercise, really targeting one side and the other. But yeah, that finishes it up. Hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned for the next backyard workout as we do day 2. And as always,
Shape off, yeah.
Okay, can you cut? Now I'm done. I'm